and they still operate.
And there are a couple places locally, I think we would have been thrilled to have them come in and do this drilling.
Yeah.
I mean, good, reputable, good neighbors, they take care of,
Yeah, some of the...
We would have been more than happy for them to come drill on this hill.
I've heard from some of I've read some things from, some of the drillers' standpoint, some of the people supporting the drillers saying, well, there's all these laws that the drillers have to comply with and everything else. And it's like, yeah, that's a true statement, but are they? No, when they get caught, they are.
And are you assuming that they shouldn't have to obey those laws?
Right.
Yeah.
And the laws didn't come out of thin air.
Right.
Yeah.
For the most
And
part.
I think DEP, Frida Tarbell, said something, about the violations that they had, this was early on, were nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, these were all kind of normal.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't be normal. There shouldn't be any normal violation. There should be, no violations.
Like, what's the normal murder rate? for
Yeah.
downtown Pittsburgh?
Yeah. And who's watching over them? Nobody.
Yeah.
It's up to the citizens or, DEP will investigate if you call them. They will step up.
Mm-hmm.
But, if nobody's kind of watching over, and what do we know about drilling activity? We don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we know what they're doing wrong or right?
Now, I've run into some, not really stories, but I guess complaints by citizens that are in the same boat as you guys about trying to hire lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
And they may have gone through 3 or 4 lawyers where they found one that didn't have any ties to the local, the gas company.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys found that?
You don't want to go with a local lawyer, but yeah, there's definitely, you talk to some of the local lawyers or even some, out of town, but yeah, they definitely have ties to get, the drillers or in some fashion or have represented them before. And
As a
stuff
matter
like
of
that.
fact, we have a local lawyer that's tied into
Hey, Dave.
making money off of this stripper plant.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's one of
He
the
represents
owners.
them and he's part owner.
Right.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's hard to...
Yeah, we went out of town.
Yeah, it is surprising to me that, not only do we have issues with the drilling, but, they've put a stripping plant in to strip the gas so they can sell it to National
Can you explain for the folks who I hope will be listening to this what the whole stripping plant does?
From what my understanding of it is the gas that comes out of the ground in our area is called a really wet gas. It has a lot of extra things in there that need to be removed before it can become a dry gas, which could be marketed.
Is that the stuff Dave let me smell up in his garage? The extra stuff?
That would be some of it.
Part
That
of
would
it.
be
Yeah, that
what
would
they
be-
call the head gas.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they pull this in and through quite the process. They'll strip this stuff down, take all these, separate the product, and actually, sell that as a byproduct. Put it in storage tanks, right in your backyard. Also,
Mm-hmm.
then what they'll do is they have a compressor station that will actually compress the gas and put it right into the pipeline and
Okay.
sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And that
So
all
you have
happens.
You have this, what do you call it, stripper station, and there's a compressor station.
Yeah,
That's part of the
it's all
stripping.
part of
It's all
one.
part of
It has
one
a
deal.
compressor, a
Pretty loud.
generator. It's very loud.
Yeah, it's shut down right now
Right.
due to the court shutting down because of zoning. But what they'll do is they'll do all this processing right on site. And the zoning laws in our area have proven that you can't have that, in R4 district or the Forest Slope district. So,
And had these guys gone through the proper channels, you're supposed to get permits, things like that. They just didn't do that.
Well, they probably,
Get it all in there before anyone notices, and
That-
hopefully no one will say anything.
that seems to be the way that the whole hydrofracking phenomenon NPA is happening right now. Is do it as fast as you can, as quickly as you can, as cheap as you can, get in and get out. Because I feel like they know something's coming. I hope.
well, if nobody
To check
questions them, then they were good.
Right. But I feel like they know it's eventually got to come.
Yeah.
The questions have to come. They're not going to win every lawsuit.
Yeah.
They're going to, I hope. It's,
Well, intimidation is part of that too. I mean, even people on our street, not all of them are going to meetings or speaking up, and I think a lot of it is you're just afraid to. You don't want to cause trouble. You don't want to have everyone mad at you.
I mean, it is a pretty tight-knit community, it seems like. I mean,
Mhm.
I imagine most of the people on the little road that
I
goes up
didn't
and down.
before this.
Yeah.
Really? You do now?
Yeah, actually, it's really, and that's one
Isn't
thing.
that nice?
That's a good part. It's the silver lining.
I'll tell you what, I've been really impressed by the small little community we have, because all the neighbors have come together due to Yvonne putting this all together, and then just saying, let's stick together, and people have stuck, and we're continuing to stay together.
Now, I find similar stories up and down the street, right here on
Yep.
Hedgehog Lane.
Mhm.
Similar water tests, and
Yep.
are most people getting new wells, or are most people getting the shaft like you are, Yvonne?
Most people have gotten, not new wells necessarily, but at least treatment systems.
Yeah,
there are only a few of us, which actually are all in a line. It's my house and then the 2 houses next to me on either side. The 3 of us, nothing's wrong. But we
Yeah.
all have the same smell in our water. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
There was
Yeah.
9 homes affected. I think it was 9 homes that were determined. There's still other homes that are just, having issues, but
And then
they
there are
don't have a
some
determination.
that don't
on it.
even call.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
there's
thinking of
people
a
with
couple on this
problems, yeah.
street. They do have water issues, but they're not calling DEP. They're not
Yes.
saying anything. They're just, for whatever reason, they're okay with it, I guess.
Getting back to the stripper plant real quick, sorry, they actually purchased a piece of land, a piece of property like you could set your house on, and threw all this equipment right on there before anybody could do anything, before they contacted our township about zoning, before they even applied for their general permit from DEP for air quality. They did nothing, and they just got it all operational. It was in operation for months and months before we even questioned it.
Yeah.
The
And
only
we were having a
question
lot
is
of
when
issues.
Matt heard about the propane tank, and he called
Yeah,
Alio,
but we were having
and he asked.
carbon monoxide readings in our house that we've never had before. We have gas alarms going off in the house now that nobody can explain. Smells, all kinds of stuff associated with this. And we're you see all the trees around us. It should smell like trees and nice fresh air, and it does not anymore.
Right.
Now my biggest question is, there's 3 owners that bought that New Century Pipeline, that purchased that property and put all this equipment on there. It's 2 of them are drillers and one's a local lawyer. The drillers each have claiming 25 years of experience, and the lawyer has 35 years of experience in being a lawyer. And none of these people know the laws that apply to them.
Oh, Steve, you give them so much credit.
I don't understand
They do
that.
know. That's how they got to do it like this.
Well, I know they know, but I can't
They know
understand
exactly
how
how
they
to
can
get
try to just really, just go up and beyond, and just not even, total disregard for this whole neighborhood and community. Now, let me make sure everybody knows, this whole community went to the driller, went to these people first thing and said, you know what, we're having a lot of problems here. We need you to run the city water, and you need to figure out what's going on the hill with your stripping plant. Whether you need, get the smells under control, put a building up around it, get the sounds, work with us.
Yeah.
We went to them. They totally disregarded us in the beginning by not doing anything.
Yep.
But we
And
as a
not only not
community,
doing anything, but saying they would. They had
Oh,
this
yeah.
sound fence they
Yeah,
were
they
going
said
to
they had a
put
bunch
up.
of
I
stuff.
mean, there's
Lies,
a lot
lies,
of lies,
yeah.
but none of it ever happened.
But we went to them as a community and a township and said, you know what, work with us. We want, we're not saying to leave, we're not saying anything. Work with us, let's get this figured out so everybody's happy. And you know what, they chose not to.
Yep.
I think they think they're a little bit bigger than their britches. They feel that they're just way beyond the laws that apply, and they think they're just a little bit better than everybody else. And, and it's frustrating that we tried to work with these people, and they just refused.
Yeah.
Lied and everything else. So, bottom line, game on. So if you want to challenge us, then, we'll see where you wind up.
Mhm.
And, and again, it's going to be, it's been years in the battle here, trying to get them to shut down and trying to move it and trying to do whatever, even trying to just get our water fixed, get our lives back. But,
Or even
you
just
know.
trying to sleep at night, just like
Right.
daily things are, it's awful actually.
yeah, it's
I
hard
keep
to
hearing
sleep.
that over and over.
It's
I mean,
really awful.
yeah, it costs
It ruins your
money
life.
out of people's house, money out of their pockets.
Mhm.
But mostly it's like the mental strain, I guess.
Oh,
Mental and the time that it cost you is ridiculous.
yeah, I can't even begin to tell you the time that I've devoted to this, and the thought process and the efforts and the strain on my marriage alone that it's put. And